In today's video, we're going to review the Pioneer 16 Explorer. James Hogan here from Caley Marina, bringing you the best tips and tools to help build the right Pioneer boat for you. On this channel, we do Pioneer boat reviews and engine reviews, so you should consider subscribing. If there's any videos you'd like to see from us in the future, please feel free to comment below. The Pioneer 16 Explorer is made from rotationally moulded medium density polyethylene. The great thing about Pioneer boats is not only can they last you a lifetime, but the polyethylene is made from fully recyclable materials. This makes Pioneer boats the sustainable choice for boating. This model has a V-planing hull. This means it's extremely easy for the boat to get up onto the plane. It can do up to 30 knots with a 60 horsepower engine on the back, but easily you can pull that back to sort of 18-20 knots, which saves a lot of fuel consumption. Pioneer pride themselves on their practical design, so that'll be a feature as this video goes on. But I'll draw your attention to the eye at the front we've got here. We've used it for tying on at this particular time, but it's also useful for attaching your boat to a trailer, which makes it easy to launch and recover. A unique feature of the Pioneer 16 is this sort of square front here. There's a couple of reasons why I like this. It makes it really easy for loading passengers because you can just pin the boat against a pontoon and passengers can go on and off. This is especially important in commercial environments if you want to get materials quickly on and off the boat. And the second reason is it just gives the boat a real solid feel as you're cutting through the water. It just gives you that air of stability. An additional feature on our demo model here are the stainless steel handrails. I like having handrails on a boat because it's an additional point of security for your passengers when moving around. Just means if you get a bump or anything like that, you've got something to hold on to. But for aesthetic reasons as well, you'll notice throughout this boat with the stainless steel and the dark line, I think it really makes the boat have a nice finish. Just so we don't have a waste of space at the front of the boat here, Pioneer have managed to fit in an anchor locker. I would keep this locker for anything you don't mind getting wet, because you can see there is a gap there, so it is exposed to the elements, so things like rope, anchor, a chain, that sort of thing. But in keeping with Pioneer's self-draining system, you see it's got a hole at the bottom here, so any water that does get in will eventually just filter out and keep it nice and dry. Either side of me here, you'll see that we've got some lifting eyes. This is one of the strongest area on the boat, so your boat needs craned out of the water for any reason, you haven't got a trailer or you're in a high-sided marina, this is an easy way just to get it lifted out. It's also ideal for tying on or dropping fenders or anything like this, so it's always good to have a lifting point on a boat. So it's quite a sophisticated self-draining system that Pioneer have put into the 16 Explorer. So you can see we've got the floor, which is held down by all these stainless steel cups, and it's a flat surface. What happens is the water runs off either side of the floor, and beneath the floor is 4 chambers that just run to the back of the boat, which takes care of any water, rainwater and splashes that come in. So it's quite neat. One thing that really struck us when the 16 Explorer was introduced was the deck space available on the boat. Part of the reason is because the seat boxes are tucked in the back there, but you've got an enormous amount of deck space for a 16-footer for storing equipment, for doing any activities, anything like that is really quite impressive. So an extra that you can get with your Pioneer 16 is this additional seat box there, which is handy for seating for your passengers, but it also doubles up as storage. You've got this waterproof seal, which just unscrews like so, where you can put your flares or any life jackets to keep them nice and safe and dry. Strategically placed next to the seat boxes, you've got these black handles. This is useful if you've got a bumpy day on the water. It means your passengers have got something to hold on to so they're safe and comfortable. On our demo 16 Explorer here, we've gone for the twin console setup, as you can see. You do get a wide console, which is through the center, or if you're looking to save costs and maximize deck space, you can just go for the single hydraulic console there. So in front of me here, you can see that we've got a grab rail and a windscreen on both consoles. Now the grab rail is quite important because if you're coming into a harbour and visibility is not great, it means you've got something to hold on to while you're steering the boat. And of course the windscreen, we know what boating can be like in the UK when you've got that wind chill or when the rain turns on. It just means again when you sit down you've got that cover and it gives you that extra layer of warmth on both sides. So the standard features that come with the console is you've got a cup holder for your coffees or anything like that. You've got quite a deep storage compartment in there if you've got any handhelds, radios. Instrument wise, we've gone quite basic on the demo model here. We've only got the engine tackle, which gives you your revs and the fuel. You might want to consider adding a chart plotter if you're going to be going into waters you're unfamiliar with, and you get more advanced gauges that have your speedometers and things like that. The steering wheel is a nice comfortable reach away. The accelerator, again, I'm not having to stretch for that, so it just gives you that extra level of comfort when out in the water. So lastly, we've got this switch panel here, which has only got the navigation lights on the A-frame, but if you had a fixed radio and any other instruments, they would be controlled through here. So if you're wondering where the isolator switch is, I think this is very clever, is it's literally just beneath the skipper's seat here if you're having the single setup, so you don't need to go out your way to turn on and off the battery before using. You've also got a 12-volt socket beneath us here too, which leads us to underneath the seat box, because you'll see that there's a specific battery compartment on the 16, which is why the isolator switch is so close to the helm seat. So not only have you got your battery storage underneath here, this is where you would keep your fuel tank because it's very close to the engine as well. Now this is the only place physically to store the 25-litre fuel tank, but if you want to have a big day out in the water and you want to take 50, 75 litres, you can easily make a bungee system on the deck using the handles or putting some additional hooks on there, so don't worry about your fuel when out in the water. As I take another seat here, one thing that I think is an essential is the backrest. It just really makes your day when you're getting thrown about on the water, bumpy. You've got something to relax with this cushion, and it just makes the whole day a lot nicer, I think. Like the backrest here, you can get cushions for all the seating positions on the boat that are custom fit for each model. Now you'll notice that they're a slightly higher price bracket than your average cushion, but the reason being they are made from a grade of polyethylene, so you get the comfort of the cushion, but also you get that durability like the boat, and these cushions really can last a lifetime if you're looked after. Behind us here we have got, again, the stainless steel A-frame with the navigation lights. So this can be useful if you're out and the weather turns and visibility is poor. You can turn on your navigation lights, so it just gives you that extra visibility. Also, it just gives you a bit of a safety net behind you, that there is something behind the helm position. If you take an absolute accidental bump, again, you've just got something to hold on to as you're tumbling back towards the engine. Otherwise, there isn't really a safety net and you could go into the water. At the rear of the boat here, you'll see that there is a step system, and on this side here, we've got the additional ladder. The ladder folds into the water and it's telescopic, so it gets bigger, so you can put your feet on, climb up, and then hold on to this nice rubber handle, which lends itself for diving or any sort of water sports where people are going to be in the water and need to climb back on board. Finally, this leads us on to the back well. You can see we've got a beautiful Yamaha engine, which is powering our 16 here. Now, we just leave the bungs out of the water, which, as you can see, it leaves a little bit of water in there just because we leave it in our basin. As rainwater happens in the Highlands here, it just flows out the back. So we're quite happy with that level of water there. You could put both bungs in and put in a bilge pump if you weren't happy with having the water, if it's going to be sitting for a long time, because you can get sort of grit and things that build up in there. But that's your two options. You can leave the bung out as is, or you could put a bilge pump in there to look quite nicely. And you can just see the channels along the deck there. That's what I was mentioning earlier on in the video. That's what filters the water from the front of the boat down into the rear. We'd always recommend having a fuel water separator as well, just because you never know with your fuel source how much water is going to get there and get into the engine. And that was our Pioneer 16 Explorer. For more information about Pioneer boats, please feel free to visit our website at www.pioneerboat.co.uk. On our website, you're going to find full package prices as well as your local dealer. For tips and tools on how to build the right Pioneer boat for you, you should consider subscribing.